will be working with nonviolent offenders. The 2006 U.S. Department of Justice (DOJ) statistics for arrest of juveniles reports that about 88 to 90% of juvenile arrests were misdemeanors or relatively non-serious crime, while 4 to 6% of persons under 18 were arrested for murder, rape, robbery, or aggravated assault, and about 6% for burglary and arson. The DOJ does not keep separate statistics for deaf youth. In 2006, females accounted for 17% of juvenile violent crime arrests, a significant increase since the previous statistics were released. 32% of juvenile property arrests and 16% of juvenile drug abuse arrests. Police interactions. In a recent case in New York, a 14-year-old deaf male was taken into custody. He had been standing in the doorway of a corner grocery store after school hours. After taking the boy into custody, the officer, not realizing that the youth was using sign language, thought the boy was flashing gang signs. Although the officer did not have reasonable suspicion to arrest him, the laws for taking juveniles into custody are less stringent in New York. In the matter of Mark Anthony G., 1987, the New York Supreme Court decided that an officer may stop and take custody of a youth, even if the officer does not suspect that person of criminal wrongdoing. Once a juvenile is taken into custody, the police have a great deal of latitude to decide what should be done next. Officers may treat the offender in an informal manner by giving the youth a warning and calling the parents or guardian to pick up the minor, making a referral to a social service agency such as the YWCA or a community organization for the deaf that has caseworkers for deaf juveniles, or making a referral to a drug and alcohol treatment center. Depending on the severity of the crime and the laws in the jurisdiction, an officer may choose to exercise a more formal remedy. For example, the officer can take a youth to a police station to extract an official statement. Based on the juvenile's answers, the youth may be given an official warning and be released to parents or guardians, but could be ordered to show up for court at a later date. Officers can also issue a formal citation, take the juvenile into custody, and remand them to a juvenile detention facility to await hearing. Custody occurs when the juvenile is either placed under arrest or deprived of freedom in a significant way. In Yarborough v. Alvarado, 2004, the United States Supreme Court ruled that an evaluation of a juvenile's age and experience by police is not required to determine custody. A Miranda warning is not required when a juvenile is only in custody but not being questioned. The police are usually not under a mandate to call for an interpreter if the officers have enough evidence to proceed without questioning the youth. In those cases, the deaf juvenile may not have a right to an interpreter until she appears in court or at the detention center for intake. Jurisdictions handle this issue differently, depending upon established laws, regulations, and police policy. The law in many states requires that juvenile interrogations be videotaped.